We're back.
Back.
Back after it.
Better than ever.
We're getting better at this.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying real hard for you guys. Thanks for sticking around.
It's good fun.
Today's topic, Father.
Boy.
What shall we discuss?
Whatever you like.
Today, why don't we speak to our lovely fans out there about why crypto is not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes. Oh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You want my 2 cents right off the top, or you want to start with that? I guess you asked me the question, didn't you? I'll try and keep this brief then. You can
Go for it.
Throw yours in there.
Please.
The number one reason it's not a get-rich-quick scheme is there's too much solid technology behind it. This is not a flash in the pan. This is not going away in 6 months. This is, in my opinion, probably going to be around for decades. And it will evolve. And there will be new companies that come along. That living through the dot-com bubble and investing back then and seeing how that evolved, although that's another show, but that's a completely different evolution than the evolution of cryptocurrencies that we're going through right now. It's not going to be the same. It will not evolve the way that one did. So, why is it not a get-rich-quick scheme? It's here to stay. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be part of virtually every aspect of your life. And it's not a massive profit margin. It deals in pennies and tenths of pennies over hourly and annual use.
Mm. Yeah.
Same question to you.
Feeling that. I read books about what it might do in 25 years from now. It's been my favorite financial stuff to read about. I'm seeking those books out at the moment. Why is it not a get-rich-quick scheme? It can be. It can be. You take a little bit of cash, you buy a little bit of crypto, you make more crypto, you sell, you make more cash. Yeah, beautiful, baby. Mwah.
Everybody wins.
Beautiful. Everybody wins. No problem.
Everybody wins.
We've kind of, and we're gonna be beating the dead horse with this one, but we're not obviously not looking at it as gamblers. You know, we're not gambling on it.
No.
But we both have. I know there have been those times and those moments where we're both looking and watching the exchanges, and we're both like, ooh, come on, baby, come on.
Yeah. Please come back.
It can be, but why it's not, to me, deep down in the bedrock of it is, I read a book years ago now. It's called Prosperity. Fantastic book. I will later be doing book review shows on some books, and I'm sure that will be one of them. Yeah. The big one that got me in that book, Prosperity, was about creating your community around you. It was about creating networking, creating a community, and the strength that you have when you create that community. And something that Dad was just talking to me about, and it's so important right now, is like, if we're just using these coins and tokens to make some money, get back out, and continuing that cycle, instead of us adapting a little bit more, get a little bit more outside of our own box and our own comfort zone with this thing, and getting involved in the community of it, and keeping our stake in it, keeping a stake and a flag in it, and saying like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna transact with this.
That's exactly it.
I'm Joe. great example. I'm Joe the plumber, you know, and
Yeah.
hey, if you want to pay me crypto, I'll give you a discount, you know.
That's right.
And it's just to be able to help strengthen, which is what these companies really are. When you listen to some of these creators talk about it, it's networks, it's communities, it's people that have worked very hard for a lot of years to bring the technology to a place where
That's
it's
right.
going to better our lives.
Right.
And that part of it is just, yes,
Yes.
man, I don't want to just see it better my life. I don't want to
No.
just make a quick buck here. I want to see it better my dad's life. And
Me too.
yeah, right. And my stepmom's life, and my mom's life, and my stepdad's life, and my friends, and my.
And it is. And
that's where I want it to go.
With or without their participation, it's going to evolve into that. I think what you were touching on, I'm going to clear up something in my head about what he just said, just ring a bell, which is perfect. Getting rich quick with crypto would mean that you sold it for 10 cents or bought it for 10 cents and then sold it for $100. Clearly, that's a huge profit margin, right? And many people are going to do that, and I get that. The difference is that he and I know, and we're learning, and hopefully we're going to be teaching you about, is when you have a proof of stake in particular, those coins, and we'll get into what all that really means because that isn't this episode. One of the things he was talking about was he was building up to a proof of stake. And once you understand what that means, it's incentive. So you bought the coin for 10 cents and now you've get rich quick. Quick, unfortunately, means that you're going to probably spend it quick as well. But that's a whole nother subject. But when you have a coin and you bought it for 10 cents and now it's worth $100 and it's staking you coins, it produces, depending on the coin, obviously everything changes, but it produces a coin to 3 coins a day. Well, now all of a sudden you're getting paid every single day $100 to $300 for that coin. Why would you sell that coin? You know, you're only going to profit that $100 for that coin one time, but if those coins, the 1,000 coins that you have, are giving you 3 to 5 a day times $100 a day, you wouldn't sell that coin. Or later in life, 5 or 10 years from now, you'd be like, oh my God, that coin is paying $500 a day, and I don't own it anymore. And now the car I bought with it, well, it's rusty and it's gone and I sold it. That's something that a 60-year-old man understands and who's been in finance most of his life. And I get that now. It's like a dividend that only grows with the value of the cryptocurrency, which a stock doesn't do that. Stock dividend stays basically whatever the percentage is of the company. So that's huge. That's another reason why it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It's finite.
It's finite.
To back that, you can't. There will only be so many Bitcoins. There will only be so many Ethereums. There will only be so many.
Right.
You know, Cardanos. There'll only be so many Polkadots. There'll only be so many Digibytes. There'll only be so many.
That's right.
Thetas. So many others.
And a lot of people don't see the value in that yet because scarcity hasn't really been an issue for a lot of people.
Right.
We don't live in a scarce world anymore, but scarcity is important when you're talking about the value of an asset. So it will increase. But the reason that I haven't even touched on yet about get rich quick that I really think is a misnomer in this is its volatility. And everybody talks about this volatility just being this, oh my God, it goes up, 300% and then it drops, 90%. Volatility tells you that get rich quick scheme means you could get rich quick 3 or 4 times a year. It's not just once. If that thing has that much volatility in it, you could do that numerous times, time and time again in years or decades. I think the volatility will slow down eventually.
You got me thinking. The last run, from 2020 into 2021 was, you see Bitcoin. Let's take Bitcoin and Ethereum go up 600-700%. I want to say 400 to 700%.
Right.
And then you've got a 50% drop. So if you've invested, say early, and you've made 700%, it's like, well, okay, yeah, it dropped 50%, but I did pretty good. I did really good there.
Yeah. It's tough because you did lose 350%, but
yes.
You're still 350% up when it dropped half. It's like crazy, but.
And in the spirit of the episode, the quick part, that's a long-term approach. It's like, well, I'm not crying over my 350%,
right.
Because I made
right
350%,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why not quick? What we want to get into too is predictions. And so, we're talking about, reading books about what's going to happen 25 years ahead. And it's like, we're loving tracking to see where this thing's going into the future. Quick kind of implies today. When you're trying to get rich right now, totally understandable. We're all trying to get into habits and do things to increase our portfolios and the size of our houses and maybe a better car, maybe a better, bigger savings account and all those things. We should strive for those things. That's great. But as we know, like, you can install habits and you can do things in a day, but it's a long-term process, to.
It is. And that makes me want to shine a little wisdom on here. And so how does risk apply to each generation? Get rich quick means that, let's say you're 16 to 25, okay? That category. And then you're 25 to, say, 40, okay? And then you're 40 to retirement, okay? Those are 3 different risk analysis, completely different risk thresholds. The first one, he gets a little small job, or he's got some income somehow, and he can afford to take a lot more risk. He's going to hear about a lot more risky things because he hangs out with 20-year-old people who are more into taking risk. But $100 or $500 placed in a very highly risky place for him is nothing, right? He's probably living at home, many of them, and if he loses all of it, it's not that big a deal. But if it goes up over the next month, great, well, that's great. But he has the rest of his life to earn that money back, which is key.
Yeah.
Okay. But the middle guy, he's probably got an issue because he's probably got a car, he's got a payment, he's got a career, he's got a wife, some kids, and it's a lot bigger gamble for those people, that get rich quick thing. They're going to go with something a whole lot more secure. They're going to invest in the top 10, okay? Probably the most conservative is still Bitcoin. That's probably the one I would recommend if you're the most
honestly.
risk adverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the older group. Now, hey, let me go back to the middle group. The middle group might spend 25 or 50% of his risk money in crypto, okay, or the riskier of the cryptos.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the older group is going to be like, I'm getting real close to retirement, yeah, it's true, my kids are out, they're through college, we've done their thing. But when they sit down and try and convince their spouse or whoever, you're not going to put a lot of risk out there. It's just not, the risk reward thing really isn't what you want to be doing at that age. So you're going to look for a more conservative currency. And again, I believe it's Bitcoin. I believe it's, the top 10 for sure. So those coins have done their massive growth spurt. I don't know that to be true, obviously. But when Bitcoin used to be 0.000, what do we look it up? 8. Okay, 12 years ago.
Yeah, look at the long-term chart. You're gonna see your short-term charts. You're gonna see the volatility. You're gonna see it, and that's part of it. That's part of markets.
Yeah.
But long-term, you're seeing this.
Yep.
And now we're just talking about we're hearing finally these big, well-to-do investors. That we're all supposed to jump on board with and listen to, and like, this is the next big thing. It's like they're finally talking about Bitcoin. Like,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
You weren't talking about it 6-7 years ago? Like 3-4 years ago? You were what? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
The horse got to the water, it just didn't drink anything. That's all.
My horse is thirsty,
Yeah.
man.
So let's just say all of those funds went down the road of 5 or 10% should be invested in crypto. Just that amount of money alone, I don't know what the numbers are. I've heard them in the past. It's a ridiculous amount of growth over the next 5 to 10 years. And that's coming because companies like Goldman Sachs already, I think they were calling for, was it 400,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year?
Wow.
Yeah. Now here's a group of, bankers, investors that really haven't had a lot of good things to say about crypto over the years, in particular Bitcoin. But they seem to be changing their tune. That's the fun part about crypto. It's so secure in what it does, and it's a mathematical equation that keeps churning along and doing its thing, and nobody's cracking it, and they're not going to crack it anytime soon, for sure.
Why we're telling you guys about it is because, in my humble opinion, it's because there are groups like Goldman and banks and we're seeing it now with big companies that are acquiring it. They're acquiring it. They want to have a foothold in it. They need to acquire a lot of it so that they can offer to sell it to you at a percentage. We're here talking about it today, as why is it not a get rich quick scheme, is because we're suggesting, acquire it, but also like the theme and the life of this show will probably be how to acquire it and use it.
And hold on to it.
And hold on to it long term. This ain't no quick buck, baby.
A fool rushes in and rushes out.
Yeah.
There's just too many people that have sold, we've all heard the story of 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. That's just, that's sad, but that's evolution.
And delicious.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Wonder, do we know what kind of pizzas they were?
Yeah. Let's not go down that road. Yeah.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Pizzas.
Yeah. It could be a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
There's so many of these NFTs and some of these new products out that are off the first page, I like to call it, the first 100 top cryptos that are tenths of pennies, just like Bitcoin was. And who's to say that they're not the next Bitcoin? I don't believe that they are, but it could happen. They could have a use case in the future that could go ballistic. And especially anything associated with the social media that could obviously go viral. Wow, the sky's the limit for that. And let's also remember too, how much money have they printed lately? All of those digits are accessible to these cryptocurrency markets. They could flood directly in there, and if the tide turns on the public, which, I don't know, 5% of the public thinks it's a good idea to buy crypto at this point? What happens when that's 90%? That's a tidal wave.
Yeah, 100th monkey type stuff.
It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah. Another reason not to sell it when it doubles.
What are you going to turn it back into? You're going to turn it back into dollars. Dollars are not money. Dollars are fiat currency. And we're seeing, to your point, Dad, we're seeing the dilution of that process, and that has been historically a big failure. It's just, can it keep going? Can it keep rolling down keep pushing it down the road? Of course, yeah, of course it could, and it will, and we'll need some form of tradable money, I'm sure. Some cash, some dinero.
It'll be there for a while.
It will be.
I believe that to be true.
But this is truly, as they say, is a digital gold. This is a digital storage of wealth. It's
an asset.
It's an asset.
It is.
And that's, whew.
And they, as much as they would like it, the people who are printing the money, as much as they would like their money not to go into crypto, it clearly is. It's over $2 trillion solid now. Mm-hmm. So that $2 trillion is only going to grow. I don't see any reason for it to go the other direction. It's going to grow. Like we just mentioned, your Goldman Sachs, your banking institutions. The big one that I really think is headed that way is all your retirement funds. In particular, I really, really believe the insurance corporations. Yeah, they're already into it. They're already headed that way, and why not? And when you look around the landscape, the financial landscape that we live in right now, and you say, where do I get a gain? How do I gain anything securely? Where's my financial? How do I profit from a financial product? Yeah. Well, let's see. Bonds are pretty much out. The yields are not happening, and the dollar's being diluted. Obviously, everybody's talking about inflation. We know what that's done. We know what they printed just last year alone. So where do I get this? Well, let's see. I could go to my bank. Well, banks haven't given you interest on money in decades. Okay, so and there, you can borrow money for let's say you bought $1 million home. You can borrow $1 million for virtually nothing. So where do you earn return? Where does a large retirement fund like CalPERS, where do they get the returns from? They've promised an 8% return. Yeah. How are they getting that? Yeah. They're not. So they're paying, how's it go, robbing Paul to pay Peter? Yeah. And that's what they're doing, and it's not working out. So where are they going to get these funds? Where are they going to get these financial returns in the future? I would have to say, if you could get 40% on your money, you would be running there with at least 5 to 10% of your money, wouldn't you? I mean, I would think. It just makes sense to me. Because holding on to cash is diminishing at, I don't know, 5 to 10% annually. So why would you do that? 10 years, the $1 million that you saved, 10 years later, at 10% decline is virtually worthless. Or it can't buy hardly anything that it bought 10 years ago.
Right.
So cryptos are basically a hedge against inflation.
Yeah. You're starting a fund today. What are you looking for? You're looking for the asset that is true, that's appreciating, that's, hey baby, we need something that's going places.
Right.
Ricky,
yes.
we need something.
if it did nothing but hold the value, it's 10% annually ahead. That's why it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. If Bitcoin simply stayed at the level it's at, well, at Satoshi level, but that's a whole nother subject as well. But if it just stayed at that level, you would at least be securing your wealth. You're not losing ground to the dollar. And that's another reason why it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't wait to share more with you guys about staking. That's the one that comes to mind, and it's just like, take a look at these rates right now. Go and do some research, and we'll be sure to throw you guys the ones that we really like. Companies doing it, where we would put our our cash, our cryptos.
We are putting our cash in crypto.
Yeah, and and these DeFi wallets, and it's just like, okay, well, you got me thinking about it. It's like, where would I put my 401k at?
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
That's
right.
I know I'd be putting it there.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
It's just a personal decision to do that, and it's exciting to have that kind of option and to see my friends doing it. I've done it. My friends have done it, and my family's done it, and we're seeing growth.
And I'm pretty sure I just heard not recently that you can put your IRAs in there as well, which is that just passed recently. So, at least a percentage of it in there to grow at a higher rate just makes sense to me. And not only that, not only is it possibly, let's say it just held its value, okay, or maybe it went up a little bit, but it's also got a return. I'm not sure what most of the returns are, but they start at 4 and 5%, and they go up to 18 to 20%, just holding the token. So in your IRA, why wouldn't you want to make those sort of returns? Sort of makes sense to me, which is another reason not to sell, which it would be the get-rich-quick scheme. Would be, like I said, buy it at 10 cents, sell it at $100, and you got rich quick. But you still have to put your money somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of giving it away. How about you, Dad?
Yeah. It's been happening since 1913, by the way. You've been giving it away. But, yeah. There's too many examples of everything is more expensive. Yeah.
And no longer backed. No longer, quantitative easing comes to mind.
Yes.
1971, going off the gold standard comes to mind.
Yep.
There's so many,
And it's not coming back. I don't believe that's where they're headed.
Where do you want to put your energy?
Right.
Where do you want to put your work? Where do you want to store your value?
That's right. You need to, if you need a return, you have to find a avenue. Where is that avenue? It's really hard to buy business today. You're so indebted to the banks that to start a new company is very difficult in this world we live in now. So returns are good.
Yep.
And we could get into what's coming, which is here, which is you're going to be paid for your participation in any social media. So that's another show, but we'll get into that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Love it. Hey.
So did you have a prediction you want to make? What do you
prediction that I want to make, as far as, say, like growth.
Yeah.
Well, the next,
I have one in mind.
In the next decade, I'm gonna let you go on that. I'm just gonna real quick double down, guys, on my prediction is that we're starting to see this, and we're gonna start. Everybody's gonna start seeing this more in the media. Last night I was just looking up who's advertising crypto now. You know, and we went down to, I lived this year, like my dad, I've also worked in yachting, and I was living in Fort Lauderdale and Miami last year, and
tough deal.
There's so many Miami's just, whoo, much love Miami,
you go Miami.
You're doing things, you're going places, baby.
Yeah.
Really great job, really great leadership.
The mayor.
The crypto wise, wow.
They're gonna release their own coin.
They're gonna release their own coin.
In the city
They've been talking about paying their city employees.
Bitcoin.
And it,
Yeah.
whew. While I was there, there's so many amazing developments, and they house big conventions now for crypto. And expos. And the big one at the time was they changed the name of American Airlines Arena to FTX Arena. Yes. You know, which FTX being a crypto exchange. And the one we looked up last night, Dad, was
the old Shea Stadium.
City Field.
City Field.
Where the New York Mets play.
And the large sign, permanent sign, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Is Tezos, which is a project that I've been involved in for a while now.
Ooh, we gotta do it, Daddy. We gotta do a Tezos episode. We'll be doing a Tezos episode.
Yes, we will.
Down the road here.
Love Tezos. There used to be a Nikon sign there for years, I guess, and now it says Tezos. So pretty amazing advertising all over North America. Globally, I would imagine.
So we're my prediction, what I'm gonna see, or what I'm seeing is that we're all gonna see it more.
Yeah.
And so it's just gonna advance and start to exponentially expand. You know, like our exposure to it, and you know, people are gonna be like, oh well, I can develop an app that people can trade on, and you know, and then.
Yeah.
We're gonna use it more. It's gonna be in our life more, and so my big prediction is that
what is
I would even say limitless. It's limitless when you've got 5 to 10%. What we're talking about of the total value.
Conservative money.
Yeah, conservative 5 to 10% going from A to B. B is going to grow by leaps and bounds, and so
yes.
I don't. There's a few words I like to say, but I want to hear your answer, Dad. Like, what's your prediction for where you see crypto's going?
Well,
here?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say one of the things that I see as far as growth is I'm just going to go with the chart that we just discussed. Bitcoin is somewhere around 200% annually. Some year, less than that. But if you go 2 years, Bitcoin's grown at least 200%. It's never had 2 years in a row where it didn't. So that's pretty solid for 12 years. I know 12 years to a lot of conservative people isn't very long. I got that.
Sure.
But think about it. The next 12 years... I would imagine it's going to do at least that. That's my guess. Okay, so I'm going to say that market, the entire market as a whole, will grow 200% annually. Now, that's, to a lot of people who are listening to this, oh my God, that's impossible, no way. But we just explained that's been happening for 12 years. However, almost all the coins, this is the crazy part that a lot of people don't know and they haven't done the research on this. Almost all the coins that are below Bitcoin, in particular the top, we'll call them the top 9 that isn't Bitcoin, have grown faster than Bitcoin to date. In other words, Litecoin is ahead of Bitcoin after the same age. So, I'd have to say its future is pretty bright, in particular since even young people today are aware that, hey, didn't we just print like $10 trillion last year and just hand it to people to what, to sit on the couch? Maybe that stuff isn't very valuable. Maybe there's a lot of those around. So I really we use this analogy all the time. I see the crypto market, in particular Bitcoin, but almost all of them, as this giant sponge that is soaking up capital in every way imaginable. And I'm talking about intellectual properties. I'm talking about digits of dollars and currencies. Value of property, value of everything is going to head towards crypto. When you look at smart contracts, when you look at coins, when you start looking at use case, operating systems, the avenues, the off-ramps, the on-ramps, it's crazy where it's all going. And it's not crazy, it makes sense. When you learn about it, it makes perfect sense that technology is going where it's going.
Exactly. When you wrap your head around this technology incentivizing the person, it's incentivizing people. It's like blockchain kind of understands humanity, in terms of like, why would anybody want to sit down and mine? Why would you want to use your CPU power to mine or to store part of the blockchain? It's
Right.
because you are receiving incentives to do so. You got stake in the game. You are part of this. You're part of it.
Yeah.
After
all, it was designed by man.
It ain't wood nickels at the fair that that are sitting in your drawer at your house, and maybe they don't have your music festival next year. Hopefully they do. But if they don't, what good is your wood nickels?
That's right.
I would much rather do this channel with my dad and support technology and projects and things that are going to be valuable to people and to store people's energy and value versus ending up in a wood nickel scenario.
I couldn't have said that any better.
Yeah, I want us.
Then again, I would do this show if we were just talking about kittens jumping through windows. So, because I'm enjoying doing it.
Oh yeah,
This is fun.
that's right.
If I knew it was going to be this much fun, I would have been doing this years ago. So
Yeah.
this is good stuff. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can share our passion, for crypto and the world around us. This show isn't just about crypto. It's about people, their ideas, and where they're taking these ideas. True, it is through software, which is difficult for many people my age to understand. But they're taking their ideas and they're putting them not in concrete or on roads. They're putting them in technology in a way that most of us can't understand, but it's making your life better and easier. And hats off to them, because they're really coming up with some solutions to some big issues. And almost all of them are so altruistic that they're about paying the end line user, which is you. You're the person that gets paid, not the corporate board meeting guy. You, the person, the investor, the owner of the company. That concept is so beautiful to me that I encourage all of them to just thrive. And I wish I could invest in them all. Clearly we can't do that.
Yeah.
But It's a bright future. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. And
It is. I'm really excited.
And it's not to be feared. It's to be studied and understand.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite people always says this. It's like, well, if you study Bitcoin for an hour, you're confused. If you study it for 10 hours, you're really confused. But if you study it for 100 hours, you believe it'll solve the world's problems. And I think somewhere around 10 hours to 20 hours, it's amazing. The light bulb goes off and you get it. And you get what they're trying to achieve. And you get how the way we've done business for so long really is going to struggle to compete. Because it's just software. And it's beautiful software, by the way. The code is amazing. The code they're writing now. It's great.
Could you make some cash with it, guys? Absolutely, you can make some cash with it.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the get rich quick scheme of it, we see it as a very valuable tool for us. Just like fire, like gasoline, like electricity, when those things are used appropriately, they're very, very powerful tools for us to be able to do amazing things with. And that's what we're hoping for cryptos and blockchain
and I believe it's
and the creators and the people who are innovating in this space. That's what we want to be here to do, is encourage and you know, not make it a get rich quick scheme, at least in our minds, you know.
No.
And
it's not, and it's made a lot of people rich, and it's going to make a lot of millionaires and billionaires in the future. And getting out ahead of where it is a good thing, obviously. And you should want good things for you and your family and your future wealth, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's funny, one of the stories that we all tell when you're in crypto a while, it's like all of us got there because we thought we were going to get rich quick.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I know this guy that, you know, he put $1,000 in and now he owns, you know, half of Miami.
Right.
But when you're in it for a while, you start to realize its use case and what it's going to do for us all. And I want to be part of that. I don't want to be the guy who says, oh, well, I don't own that anymore. Wow. Look, they changed the world and I don't own any part of it. You know, it's really, it's neat to be part owner. And it's so, I don't want to go down too deep in this hole, but it's so much different than owning stock. You are the company. When you own these, when you run this software, you are the backbone of the company. You're the electricity of it. You're the miner, you're the node, you're running this company. You are the company. And you just feel a big part, and you feel like a loving interest in what you're doing and what they're doing. And people get so wound up because they find a project that they love so much, you know, like Cardano comes to mind. And it's like, oh, they can rule the world, you know, we don't need anything else. Let's just stick with this. And people...
Big shout out, we haven't mentioned yet, the Divi project. Guys, check out the Divi project. Woo!
Yep. Changing things.
Woo!
Changing things.
Love ourselves, the Divi project.
Yeah. Nick and the boys there doing amazing things.
As smart as anybody I've listened to.
Good stuff.
In the field.
Woo. Yeah, definitely look up the Divi. I believe it's diviproject.org. I believe.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah. That's not a paid plug.
No. Yeah. No, but we just love them, and we've gotten to meet some of them, and it's amazing.
Stuff. There's going to be many coins that we're going to talk about in the future. I'm not sure that there are any of them that I like any more than that one, but all of them are things that we've looked into. I've been following or owned for many years. So can't put my name on it because you can't control the world. But we'll put out there the research that we've done and what we know about it.
Can't wait. I've said this 1,000 times to him. Can't wait to run through the wall for you guys to get out there I want to write some code. I want to, run a node. I want to get all, yeah, we are. I want to get out there and go through every wall so that we're bringing you guys some experience and hopefully some wisdom in it. I have lost cryptos before in trades and just typed something in wrong. It happens, and I've made mistakes, and if I can help, steer you guys.
The beauty is we can find most of those coins. We know people that can find them. We can't find those.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. He maybe one day can, but
yeah.
But we can find those coins that are lost. It's not like it went down a gutter. Like a dollar bill or something. It's
Right.
gone forever.
Love it.
Loved it.
Man.
Try to look into this in a long term. I know it's so exciting in the beginning. You want to buy all these coins. You want to buy them for 2 cents, and then they go to the moon, and then you just want to sell them and buy a big house, or Lambo, as the industry says. Everybody is trying to buy a Lambo in the beginning. It's a long-term game. It's going to be around forever.
Yeah.
It really is.
And
a long time anyway.
We think you will be more wealthy. You will get richer long term.
Yeah.
Just do. Get in, get out. Yeah, you make some bucks. You probably do all right, depending when you buy, when you sell.
Yep.
But
none of us know how long you're going to live, right? When you're 30, I got $10 million. Yeah, well, what happens when you live to 90?
Yeah.
What's a dollar worth, by the time you get to 90? If it even still exists, right? So, yeah. It's really nice, that monthly income. Almost every day I look at one of my nodes that I run, and it basically is about 500 tokens every day while I'm sleeping. And it's pretty amazing. It is
amazing.
It's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah. They're just pennies at this point, but you just never know. Okay, on that note.
Man, I love it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And we can't wait to bring you more exciting crypto news.
Hope you're having as much fun watching it as we're having making them.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you guys.
Out.